Hi and welcome everyone. My name is Jeanette Callie and I'm the Chief of Match Operations here at the NRMP. And I'm joined today by Joy Gabakayan, who is the Director of Policy and Compliance. And we're going to spend a little time with you all today talking about graduation credentials and ranking in the main residency match. So let's go over a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about the match calendar, of course, because we've got some big deadlines coming up. Do a little bit of a recap for those of you who didn't maybe make it to our previous webinar session about what's new here in the 2026 main residency match. We'll also go over a little bit about managing students and graduates, specifically having to withdraw applicants who may not be eligible for the match. We'll talk about, of course, the applicant eligibility and how to verify folks, since that is a really big piece of what we're going to need you to do. Give you a little bit of tips and guidance around ranking and the matching algorithm so that you have a good base of knowledge to talk with your students and applicants about the match and how to rank. And then, of course, go over some of the resources and support. So again, we're going to try and take questions at the conclusion of the slides. And as I mentioned just a minute ago, both the webinar recording and the presentation slides will be posted to our website probably a day or two after the webinar is concluded, hopefully today, but it will be there for you. Well, let's go ahead and get started. First off is, of course, the calendar. Hopefully everyone has this near and dear to their hearts already. But coming up next week on Friday, January 30th, is that standard registration deadline for applicants. That is on January 30th, and the registration can continue. Applicants can still register after January 30th. They will just have to incur an additional $50 fee. So that is that standard registration deadline. But the full registration deadline, when there are no additional registrations afterwards, is that rank order list deadline. But we'll get to that in a second. And then the other big date that's coming up is Monday, February 2nd at noon Eastern time. And that is when your applicant verification begins for medical schools. That is also the date that ranking opens for both applicants and programs. So that's when folks will be getting into that R3 system and begin ranking their preferences on the applicant and program side. Hopefully you have this date circled and highlighted on your calendar. The rank order list certification deadline is Wednesday, March 4th. That is at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And that is also that registration deadline. So that applicant late registration for the match and SOAP, as well as the match withdrawal deadline. So any applicants that need to withdraw themselves if they're a previous graduate, or that you need to withdraw because they're not eligible, that is the deadline, is the Wednesday, March 4th rank order list deadline. So that is, for you all, the deadline to verify your students and graduates as eligible for the match. Keep in mind, though, that because that registration goes all the way up until March 4th at 9 p.m., you may have particularly some previous graduates that decide at the last minute to hop into the match. So you may have to go in and do some last minute verification. So just kind of keep that in mind as you consider your planning for Wednesday, March 4th. You might, go in and get the bulk of your folks verified before that, but there may be some last minute stragglers that you have to keep a lookout for. And then, of course, Monday, March 16th begins Match Week and SOAP. So we're not going to talk a whole lot about Match Week today, simply because we are going to have another webinar. And we'll give you the dates for that at the conclusion of this particular presentation. But we want you to join us for that, where we'll talk about Match Week and SOAP in depth. And we'll be joined by our application partners in that particular webinar. But this is the match calendar so that you all have a good base of information about what's coming up in the particular match this year. So for those in my previous webinar, this may be a bit of a review, but we'll cover some of these in more detail later, but I really wanted to highlight a couple of things. First off is hopefully you all have gotten and taken a look at your new Charting Outcomes Medical School report. I'm going to show some screens on that in a little bit. And then, of course, we are also doing the pilot this year for the voluntary locking functionality for program rank order lists. And I'm also going to talk about that a little bit and show you how you can see and how your applicants can see what programs are participating and whether or not they've locked their roles. You should also have gotten some notification about medical school fees. There's information there on our website, as well as some of the information we've already sent you. But the medical school fee was implemented by the NRMP Board of Directors to really just ensure continued comprehensive support, as well as some new and expanded reporting, like the medical school reports, to med schools and their students. So those new reports, expanding and modernizing some of the videos and the support guides, building functionality to support the new application service landscape that we're in. Those are just some of the efforts that we have been undertaking to support schools and applicants. So there is more information on that fee on our website, but please make sure that you are entering billing contact information in the R3 system under your school so that we have that billing contact information at the conclusion of the match. And then last but not least, hopefully this isn't news for you at this point, but we have been able to secure primary source USMLE and NBOME applicant score data for the first time. And so what that means to you all is that usually after the match concludes, inconveniently right when you all are getting ready for things like graduation, we ask you to verify scores for your applicants. And we will no longer be doing that because we no longer need to verify those scores from you all. We will have that primary source, USMLE and NBOME applicant score data. So wanted to give you a little good news as well in terms of kind of hopefully lightening some of your workload around the match. Let's talk a little bit now about managing students and graduates. You've hopefully been kind of monitoring and managing your students and graduates in the R3 system since the match opened to applicants in September. And again, we kind of reviewed some of this in our last webinar, but to give a quick overview, you can use R3 to monitor your registered applicants as well as withdraw ineligible ones. I'm going to show you that in a minute, as well as update applicant graduation dates. So after ranking begins on February 2nd, you can also begin verifying those graduation credentials, which is that requirement that we ask of schools. But first, I wanted to turn things over to Joy for just a few minutes to discuss a little bit about that requirement for medical schools to provide complete, accurate, and timely information to programs about your students as they're going through this process.
Yes, thank you so much, Jeanette. So what I want to touch base on here today is that at all times, medical school officials should be transparent with programs, and we ask that you convey all information related to an applicant's medical school experience. What does that look like? It's ensuring that their transcripts, MSPEs, as well as credentials are current and include complete disclosure. That could be on the academic side if a student fails required coursework and doesn't meet graduation requirements. If there were professionalism issues, such as a student being subject to a school disciplinary action or academic probation. If the student perhaps ran into some legal issues and has been charged, arrested, or is facing ongoing legal issues. You want to be sure that you're communicating any and all changes in regards to applicant eligibility through an application portal that they have applied through the NRMP and or match programs at any point during the application, interview, ranking, matching, or onboarding process. Now, what if a student has filed an appeal, you might ask? You can actually wait to make modifications or updates to the program and all other entities until the appeal has finalized. And I'm going to hand it back over to Jeanette.
Thanks, Joy. So beyond just obviously, verifying graduation credentials for us, you also, have that requirement to make sure that you are being complete, providing information, complete, timely, and accurate information to programs. So lots of kind of moving parts here in the match. So let's hop into the R3 system so you can see, at least on the NRMP side, where you can manage your students and graduates. So hopefully a lot of you all are familiar with this and have logged in and signed the match participation agreement for this year, so you can see all of these good fun tools. But here at the top section of the screen is your user information, so you'll be able to see that. And then in the middle of the page is a table that's going to show your number of registrants, the types of registrants they are, and their status. So how many haven't yet completed registration? How many are in ranking? How many have already certified? How many have been withdrawn um, or that you have withdrawn from the match? So kind of gives you some good information about what things look like for your particular school. And then at that bottom of the page is where you can upload a list of seniors to monitor their participation status. So hopefully you've already done this since we're so far into registration at this point in the match. But when you click on that, you can upload a student list that contains the names and the IDs of your sponsored applicants. And what the R3 system does when you do that is that they compare registered applicants to the uploaded list, and then it removes the applicants from your list as they register. So then you can just get that difference of only the applicants who haven't registered. And so what this allows you to do is to reach out to your applicants who you're pretty sure, your senior students who you think should be participating in the match, but who haven't registered. So if you need to do a little nudging of your students, this is one of the ways that the NRMP helps you do that. So it really just helps you identify those seniors who haven't yet registered for the match. So that's available for you to go in and do if that's something that you haven't yet done in this particular match so far. But there, in addition to like seeing who hasn't registered, you can manage your registered applicants as well, kind of back on that match homepage. You can see how many of your applicants have registered. They're highlighted in red. You can see what that looks like. And then you're going to want to be able to go in and manage those registered applicants. And so to do that, you can click on Review Applicants, or also you can see up there in that drop down, there's a My Students and Graduates. It's going to take you to that same page. So your Students and Graduates page will appear. And then this is where you're going to go in to withdraw any senior students who are not eligible to enter graduate medical education, and also where you're going to verify graduation credentials once it opens on February 2nd. So if any of you are in there following along with me, you're not going to see the verification quite yet. There will be an additional column, which I'll show you in a little bit, that's going to appear after February 2nd. But for right now, this is what you should see generally. So if you need to withdraw an applicant, you're going to click on that withdrawal link for the applicant you intend to withdraw. And then a pop-up will appear for you to select the reason the applicant is being withdrawn. And you can see some of the reasons there. And then you'll enter your password and click Withdraw Applicant to finalize the withdrawal. So keep in mind, especially if you are withdrawing an applicant for academic concerns, the student will be notified of their withdrawal automatically. So we're hopeful that the action you're taking will not be the first they're hearing about not being eligible for the match. So please be so kind as to inform your students before withdrawing them from the match that they may be having some eligibility problems. But most of you are really good about it. We only get the occasional call from applicants that says, my school withdrew me and I don't understand it. So the resulting page will show that withdrawn applicant. You'll also note that there is a reinstate button. So if something changes with their status, if there's a last minute Hail Mary and they do become eligible, you do have the ability to reinstate an applicant. You'll also note there that previous grads do not have a withdrawal option. So they are independent applicants. And while you do have to verify their eligibility to participate in the match, you as a school official or administrator cannot withdraw them from the match. So I keep talking about eligibility. So let's kind of dig a little deeper into that in terms of the policy around it and kind of what the NRMP is looking for, kind of from both, kind of the policy and the how-to side. So overall, to participate in the match and SOAP, applicants have to do a few things. They must register with the NRMP and be verified as eligible by you to enter graduate medical education as of July 1st, 2026. And so verification depends on the applicant type. So this is a medical school webinar, so most of you are in theory from medical schools, but just for your information, international medical graduates are verified by the ECFMG, so the Educational Commission for Foreign Medical Graduates. But US MD and DO students and graduates are verified by their medical schools. So as I mentioned when we talked about the calendar, applicants must be registered and verified by you by March 4th. So there used to be, for some of you who've been around a long time, there used to be kind of another verification period after that ranking deadline. That no longer is the case. So everybody has to be registered and verified by March 4th, and there is no separate SOAP registration. So sometimes we get that question a lot, is like, okay, well, can I register after that March 4th? And that is not something that applicants can do. Keep in mind also that each institution or program may also have additional eligibility requirements, and those aren't set by the NRMP. So your students are responsible for checking those requirements and really ensuring that they're eligible as they are applying, interviewing, and most importantly, ranking programs. So I'm going to turn it over to Joy to cover in more detail that verification of applicant eligibility, those policies that are behind it, and kind of what we're looking for as you verify applicants.
Yes, so as Jeanette mentioned, we want to make sure that prior to the rank order list certification deadline, schools verify each of the applicants that are anticipated to be eligible for GME on July 1 and confirm the graduation status for any applicant identified as a graduate. After the deadline, of course, schools must notify the NRMP immediately if an applicant becomes ineligible. Schools should withdraw sponsored applicants only when it has been conclusively known that they will not graduate on time. If there are situations where, yeah, they're probably going to graduate, but they're a little bit delayed, but they will be on time, we just ask that you don't withdraw them until you know 100%. If eligibility does change post deadline, you would need to contact the NRMP so we can help walk through that process, as well as schools are responsible for complete, timely, and accurate information throughout the entire match process, which we spoke about just a few minutes ago. And then we're going to talk more about the verification. So as we said, verification opens on February 2nd at 12 p.m. Eastern, which is the moment you medical schools can get in there and start validating your students and graduates' eligibility for the match. Every applicant must meet all the ACGME requirements, and not just the academic coursework, but any institutional or accreditation expectations. Beyond the ACGME standards, each school may have additional graduation requirements, and eligibility must reflect your school's criteria. So your verification may not be a one-size-fits-all. It's just based on your institutional policies. If a sponsored applicant, MD or DO senior, cannot meet the requirements for a July 1 start, that's when they must be withdrawn from the match. Withdrawal should occur only, as I stated earlier, when it's absolutely clear the student will not graduate in time. If there is any pending remediation, appeal, or uncertainty, again, do not withdraw them. Wait for a conclusive outcome. The verification window closes at the rank order list certification deadline on March 4th, and every applicant must be both registered and verified by that deadline to participate in the match and SOAP. Now that I've covered what needs to be verified, I'm going to hand it back to Jeanette to show you how to verify NR3.
Thanks, Joy. Let's take a look at R3, see how you're going to go in and verify. Again, once ranking opens on February 2nd, you'll see kind of that extra column there. You'll have the ability to verify your applicants on that same students and graduates page that I was showing you with withdrawals earlier. So you can see there at the top, there will be a count added of how many graduation credentials are pending to be verified at the top. So you can see kind of where you stand. And there's that additional verification column added to our page. So you'll go to each applicant in the table and you'll click on verified if the applicant is eligible. It's a super easy process. If an applicant has maybe misentered a graduation date that isn't right, you can click on the linked graduation date in that column for the student. A pop-up will appear where you can go in and correct that graduation date. So you also have that ability on this page. And then you can see that as you verify, the numbers of pending will decrease. So again, I mentioned earlier, if you need to reinstate a withdrawn applicant, you'll see a reinstate link. One more thing to mention about withdrawing applicants is you saw some of those withdrawal reasons. One of them is like military match. Another one is early match. Keep in mind that you're only going to want to withdraw an applicant who is matched in the San Francisco match or the urology match if they do not need to go through NRMP for a PGY1 position. So every year we always have some applicants that contact us freaked out because their medical school withdrew them because they matched in ophthalmology, but they still need to go through the NRMP match for their PGY1 ophthalmology preliminary position. So keep that in mind before you go withdraw happy on your applicants. And same thing with military, making sure that they have a full position in the military match before you are withdrawing them. So just keep that in mind. But remember, for seniors, you either have to verify them or withdraw them. There shouldn't be any blank check marks here. You either need to withdraw them or verify them. So make sure that you do that. And then the other thing, I've got a little arrow there to click Save Verifications because a lot of you have really big student lists. And so the system will time out after 20 minutes. So you may want to scroll up to the top of the page every good once in a bit and click Save Verifications. As you work your way through the list, we don't want you to lose any of your work. So just make sure you hit save on the regular. There are a couple of other R3 options that I wanted to point out. If some of the personnel at your school has changed and you need to update your school administrator, the school official can do that from R3, but a school official can only be changed by the NRMP. So the school official can change the school administrator, but only the NRMP can change a school official. And I know that some of you will be in the question and answer box asking this question right now, so let me address it immediately. Each school can only have one school official and one school administrator. So we set those limits to maintain the security of the system. As you can see, you will have great power to stop applicants from registering and participating in the match. And we try to make sure that we limit that to as few people as possible. But if you do need to talk about how your campuses are set up or who your school official is, please reach out to the NRMP support staff at support@nrmp.org. The other thing I wanted to point out is you all have a lot of reports that are available to you, and you can see what this kind of report screen looks like. You can see you can get to it there on the top by clicking on options and then reports. And these are just some of the reports that you have available. Again, this is just a test screen, so you'll see, this says March, 20th, 25, but all of these reports will have also the date and times they become available, for instance, during match week. But don't sleep on the reports. There are some good reports even right now that you all might want to take a look at, including non-participating students and who your graduates are that are registered in the match, who your seniors are that are registered in the match. So there are some other reporting options that you have available. These are some of the big ones that we find get the most use that I would encourage you to make sure that you are taking a look at. So during SOAP, there's that schools report, there's the downloading of the list of the unfilled programs. So a lot of these are during match week and SOAP, but want to definitely point out that seniors with certified rank order lists and without certified rank order lists, if you want to monitor which of your students have completed the ranking process during this ranking period. Also there on the bottom, you can see that charting outcomes medical school report. I mentioned that earlier, but just so that you can see a little bit about what that looks like, I strongly encourage you to take a look at that new charting outcomes medical school report. It is a custom report available to you now in the R3 system, same way I mentioned earlier under options and reports, but it does provide a tailored overview of your seniors match participation, including registration, match and SOAP outcomes, specialty preferences. It includes demographics as well as some really great information on ranking behavior. So this is part of what I mentioned earlier in terms of kind of that broader reporting roadmap that the NRMP has undertaken, and it's really designed to help you better understand and support your students. So let's get into ranking. Now that we've kind of covered the verification piece, which is kind of a really our big ask of you, but we also know that you are assisting your students with this ranking process. So I wanted to give a little bit of an overview to help you help your students. So, of course, ranking and matching is coming up. So the rank order list certification deadline and the deadline for your students and graduates to register for the match and SOAP is Wednesday, March 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Registration, sign that match participation agreement, pay those match fees, and of course, your piece of it, which is verifying them as eligible to enter GME. But let's talk about what is a rank order list and how does this work in terms of helping your applicants make some decisions about how to rank. So all applicants will place their ranks on their primary rank order list. So every applicant has a primary rank order list. But applicants who are ranking advanced programs in the match, and those are the PGY2 programs that begin in the year after the match, those folks may also have a supplemental rank order list. So the primary role can include, categorical, advanced, not physician reserved for seniors, but your graduates might have physician reserved programs, as well as sometimes preliminary programs. And that primary role can be a mix of geographic locations, specialties. It's really up to the applicant in terms of where they applied and interviewed. And then that supplemental role is a list only for preliminary programs that are attached to any advanced programs on that primary rank order list. And so the goal with that is to allow your applicants to try and match to a full course of training in a single match. So just like the primary rank order list, it can be a mix of geographic locations on a supplemental rank order list. As well as specialties. So you can have, transitional year programs as well as, internal medicine prelims on a list. So there can be some limited differences in specialties there. But applicants can have up to 16 unique supplemental lists with those prelims. So for instance, if I'm an applicant and I'm applying to an advanced radiology position in California, I might have a supplemental rank order list with all my prelims that are geographically compatible to that advanced program. And I'll attach that supplemental rank order list to the advanced program on my primary rank order list. So how it works with the matching algorithm is that the matching algorithm will attempt to place an applicant in a preliminary position on the supplemental rank order list, but only if the applicant first matches to the linked advanced program on that primary rank order list. So it is possible for an applicant in the main match to match to an advanced program on their primary rank order list, but not to a preliminary program on the linked supplemental rank order list. So keep that in mind. So just because they match to an advanced position on their primary rank order list, the algorithm does not then move down to the next rank on the rank order list, on the primary list, that match still stands to the advanced program. Um, they are still committed to that advanced position, and they must seek a qualifying first year position during match week, supplemental offer and acceptance program, or SOAP, or after SOAP concludes. So it is possible for an applicant in the main match to match to an advanced program on that primary rank order list, but not to a preliminary program on the linked supplemental rank order list. So as you are working with your applicants, make sure that they are putting together their supplemental rank order lists and attaching them to their advanced programs so that they have the best shot possible of matching to a full course of training. The other thing that applicants should know is that they can put preliminary programs on their primary rank order list. Um, the best guidance would, of course, be to rank those preliminary programs at the bottom of the rank order list, since it is only 1 year of preliminary training, and they are typically going to want the algorithm to try and match them to full courses of training first. But applicants can, if they are willing to match to only a 1 year preliminary program, put those prelims on the bottom of their rank order list. But that's an individual decision for the applicant and something that you may want to talk through with them as to whether or not it's better to be unmatched and go for SOAP, for categorical positions versus matching to a preliminary position on your primary rank order list. So just something that is going to vary depending on applicants and how they feel about that as a possibility. We get asked regularly how best to rank programs for applicants. And there are, obviously a lot of myths and misperceptions, about the algorithm and how it works. But in the end, it's really, really simple in terms of guidance. And that is applicants, if you all have heard me talk before, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, applicants should rank based on true preference. So really, this is kind of boiling it down to the best guidance that we have, which is rank only those programs where they're eligible and willing to train. They can make changes to a rank order list after it's been certified, but if it's uncertified to be edited, the new version has to be recertified before the ranking deadline. They should save their role after changes. We do not save previous rank order lists. So once you make a change, we only have one list on file for everyone. And so, including, well, two if they have a primary role and supplemental roles, but there's only one version of everything. So we don't keep past versions of rank order lists. So you can't revert to something they did, 3 days ago. And the big one that we always get calls on is no changes after the deadline. The NRMP will not add, delete, or move programs or in any way modify a rank order list. We just will not do it. We've not 11 years. I have not ever once changed a rank order list because someone, wanted their number 3 as their number 1 after the ranking deadline. And we do get calls and there's chest beating and crying, but unfortunately, those are not changes we will make. So the ranking period is open for pretty much a full month. And so we do encourage applicants to get in there and be thoughtful and make sure that their rank order lists are certified in a timely manner. And then they push away from the computer and let it ride. So a couple of other ranking tidbits. Rank order lists can include up to 20 unique program codes on that primary rank order list and up to 20 unique program codes on all their supplemental lists combined before any extra fees apply. So keep in mind a program may have a couple of program codes. So an ACGME program level may have a couple of program codes, so they might have different tracks, right? So you might have an internal medicine program that has a core, kind of their core program, but then they might also have a research track. So that one program might be 2 ranks for your applicant. So they need to keep that in mind as they're looking at how many program codes they're ranking. This primarily is something to know about your couples, but no more than 300 ranks can be placed on any rank order list. Those are unique. Those are rank slots. Keep in mind that most of your applicants are not going to have any more than 20 unique program codes. But if they do, sometimes those combinations for couples can get pretty high, but there are no more than 300 ranks, even given their combinations, that can be placed on any particular role. And yeah, I think that covers most of the ranking tidbits. But I did want to talk a little bit, kind of going hand in hand with ranking, is the voluntary rank order list lock functionality. And this is on the program side. So there's nothing your applicants really need to do with this. But I wanted to give you a little bit of information in that this is a pilot program that is involving internal medicine, pediatrics, and vascular surgery. And they, in theory, have all announced their intention to participate in the pilot. We have asked them to sign up through the R3 system so applicants can see who is participating in the pilot. And what this pilot does is that the locking of their rank order list is implemented voluntarily by the program anytime after ranking opens on February 2nd and either before the first post-interview visit or by February 9th. So that's what the specialties, that's the guidelines the specialties have set. So the idea behind it is that the applicant will be able to go and visit those programs or not visit those programs that are participating without any concern or regard that their visit or non-visit will impact the rank order list. So it's just a way for programs to be able to provide kind of those open house visits without any pressures on the applicants. So applicants can maybe, especially for virtual interviewing, get a better feel for a program so that they can decide with more information about how they want to rank the program. So it's a way for applicants to get a feel for programs if they choose without any pressure. And give them a chance to get another look at a program and maybe have some more information or better information about how to do their ranking. So as I said, programs participation and lock status will be indicated in the R3 system, and the RAL must be certified before being locked. And once locked, the rank order list cannot be changed. It is irreversible in that we don't have any way to change it. So once in the system, it is certified and locked. It cannot be unlocked. And so applicants can see that. You can see here is a sample in the program directory. They can search the R3's program directory to see if a program is participating and if their rank order list is locked. And you can see there are little lock icons there. If a program has a lock icon next to it, that means they are participating. And then once ranking opens, if you see a locked icon, that means that rank order list has been certified and locked, and the applicant can feel free to visit that program at that open house without any concern that the rank order list may change. They can also see it when they are certifying their rank order list. So when applicants are adding programs to their rank order list, they can see there as well in the R3 system which programs in the pilot have certified and locked their role. So just so you can get a feel for what that looks like to the applicants. There is significantly more information on our website, so I can't go into all of it here today because we would be here a long time. But there is information here as well as a QR code. But as we're talking about rank order lists, I want to turn it over to Joy to talk about the applicant's rights as it relates to their rank order list and kind of what that confidentiality looks like.
Yes, absolutely. So first, I want to touch on that an applicant has the right to keep their ranking information confidential. They're not obligated to share with anyone, and they're entitled to make their selection decisions without experiencing any undue or unwarranted pressure from others. Confidentiality of rank order lists and SOAP preferences. Medical schools do not have access to the applicant's rank order list or SOAP preferences, and these preferences are to remain confidential. However, applicants do have the right to keep their preferences private and not obligated to share them with the medical school. Applicants may voluntarily disclose their rank order list with you and the medical school advisors if they wish to do so, but they can't be forced to if they don't want to. Medical schools are not permitted to request, require, pressure, persuade, or coerce the applicants, as I said, into disclosing their rank order lists. While schools cannot pressure them, you may offer to review them if the applicant seeks your support in the matching process. Now I'm going to let Jeanette walk you through how the matching algorithm turns ranks into matches.
Thanks, Joy. So this is the meat of it, right? How does this whole thing really work? So there's not a lot of magic to it, I promise. It is just math in the end. But after the rank order list certification deadline, the NRMP prepares data for the matching algorithm to be processed. We make sure everybody's verified and eligibility is all squared away, and we make sure that the algorithm is ready to run. And so just so that you understand a little bit about how the matching algorithm works, the algorithm is applicant proposing, and that just means that the preferences on the rank order list submitted by applicants, not programs, is where the algorithm starts. It initiates placement into residency training, starting with the applicant rank order list. So if an applicant can't be matched to his or her first choice program, then an attempt is made to place the applicant into their second choice program, and then to the third choice program, and so on, until they obtain a tentative match or until the algorithm has reached the end of the list. So that's kind of a short version of how it works, but the NRMP has a series of videos, and we've actually just redone how the matching algorithm works. And so let's walk through a sample match so you understand how the algorithm works and can work with your students.
The NRMP uses a computerized mathematical algorithm to place applicants into residency and fellowship positions by matching applicants to their most preferred training programs. There are lots of myths and misperceptions about how the NRMP's matching algorithm works and how participating applicants and programs should rank each other to have the best chance at matching. In this video, we'll run a sample match to help demystify the process. Before we begin, let's cover the basics of how the matching algorithm works. The algorithm is applicant proposing, meaning it initiates placement of an applicant into a program based on the choices made on an applicant's rank order list first, rather than a program's rank order list. However, for a match to occur, both the applicant and program must rank each other. There can never be a match if both parties haven't ranked each other. The algorithm starts with an applicant's rank order list and attempts to match that applicant to their first choice. If that can't be done, the algorithm will try to match the applicant to the second choice, and so on, until the applicant is tentatively matched or all choices on the list have been exhausted. Let's run a sample match to see the algorithm in action. 6 applicants: Andre, Paul, Jordan, Teresa, Omar, and Allison, and 3 programs, Mercy, City, and General, have certified rank order lists. Each program has 2 positions. The algorithm randomly starts with Andre. Andre only ranks City. Because the algorithm is applicant proposing, it attempts to match Andre to City. City ranked Andre 3rd. Because there are no other tentative matches for City, the algorithm tentatively matches Andre to City. While the algorithm is running, matches are considered tentative because an applicant who matches to a program at one point in the process may be removed from the program later to make space for an applicant the program ranked higher. Next, here's how the algorithm attempts to match Paul. Paul also ranked City first. so the algorithm attempts to match him there. City ranked Paul 5th. Because City still has one opening left, the algorithm tentatively matches Paul to City. Let's see how the algorithm tries to match Jordan. Jordan's first choice is also City, and even though she thinks it's unlikely she'll match there, she ranks it first because it's where she really wants to be. So the algorithm attempts to match Jordan to City. While City has ranked Jordan 2, she can't match there because both openings are already tentatively matched to higher ranked applicants. The algorithm now attempts to match Jordan to her second ranked program, Mercy. Mercy has ranked Jordan 2nd. Since there are 2 positions available, Jordan receives a confirmed match because she is one of the 2 applicants most preferred by Mercy. Next, here's how the algorithm tries to match Teresa. Teresa ranked Mercy first. Mercy didn't rank Teresa, so she can't match there. The algorithm moves to Teresa's second rank, City. City has ranked Teresa 4th, so Teresa tentatively matches with City. However, Teresa's tentative match has displaced Paul since he was ranked 5th by City. So let's jump back to Paul. There are 2 tentative matches ranked higher than him by City, and only 2 openings. The algorithm tries to place Paul at his second rank, Mercy, but Mercy didn't rank Paul, so he tentatively matches with his third ranked option, General. Now the algorithm moves to Omar. Omar ranked Mercy first, but Mercy didn't rank Omar. The algorithm attempts to match Omar to his second rank, General. General ranked Omar first, so Omar matches a General. He receives a confirmed match because he's the applicant most preferred by General, and there's no chance he'll be displaced later in the process by a more preferred applicant. Last, let's see how the algorithm tries to match Allison. Allison ranked City first. City ranked Allison first. Allison receives a confirmed match because she's the applicant that City most prefers. However, since City has only 2 positions, an applicant must again be removed from City to make room for Allison. That applicant is Teresa, because she was the least preferred applicant available on City's rank order list. The algorithm then attempts to match Teresa to her third rank, General. General ranked Teresa 4th, so she matches to General. Since General ranked Teresa higher than Paul, the algorithm removes Paul's tentative match, displacing him again. Finally, the algorithm returns to Paul, but none of the programs on Paul's list that also ranked him have any remaining open spots, so Paul is unmatched. The process is complete and the match is final. Let's take a deeper look at the results for Paul and Andre. All applicants except Paul matched to their most preferred programs possible. Although all of Paul's choices have been attempted, he didn't match at either City or General because other applicants were ranked higher, and he couldn't match at Mercy because Mercy didn't rank him at all. All the applicants, except for Andre, used the match to their advantage by ranking all acceptable programs at which they interviewed in their preferred order to maximize their chances of matching. Andre took a real risk by ranking only City. While Andre did get a match, applicants with shorter lists have a higher likelihood of being unmatched. Remember, applicants should rank all programs they are willing to attend. Now, let's take a deeper look at the programs. City and General filled all their positions, but Mercy is left with one unfilled slot. Mercy didn't use the match to its advantage because it submitted a short rank order list. Remember, programs should rank all applicants they consider acceptable to train. While the match can seem complicated, we hope this sample match has helped clarify how the algorithm works. Here are 2 important things to keep in mind when it's time to certify your rank order list. First, the match is a binding commitment for applicants and programs, so all participants should rank only the options they are willing to accept on their rank order list. Second, the algorithm will try to match you to the highest ranked option that also ranked you, so there's no penalty for ranking REACH programs higher if you're an applicant or ranking REACH applicants higher if you're a program, regardless of whether you think you have a chance of matching. The best ranking strategy for all participants is one based only on true preference. To learn more about the matching process, visit the NRMP website.
All right, so that's the new video. Hopefully it was helpful to help you understand really how the matching algorithm works. So as someone who runs it multiple times a year between main match and fellowship, I will tell you that is exactly how it works when we kind of look at it on the back end and see how it goes through. But yeah, there is no match if the applicant didn't rank the program, or the program didn't rank the applicant, or the program and applicant ranked each other, but the program was filled with other applicants more preferred. So, you know, the algorithm goes through its whole cycle of applicant rank order lists and tries to make that's best match possible using those preferences. So it's always very interesting to me. I hear people, wanting to know how to game the system, and there is no kind of gaming the system here. True preferences really is the best ranking strategy for your applicants. If you are trying to rank where you think you might match as opposed to where you really want to be, you're not giving the algorithm a chance to match you to that more preferred program. Because you might indeed be right and you would match at Mercy. But and then the algorithm will make that match, and then it will never get down to the one that you really truly do prefer because you tried to, game the system. So as you're working with your applicants, please help them understand the algorithm and that there's no kind of secret magic to it. We try to be as transparent as possible in terms of how this works. In terms of couples, the algorithm, there is no kind of separate couples match. We hear that a lot. It's like, how does the couples match work? It's not actually a separate match or anything. Couples obtain a match when the algorithm can place both partners in their highest ranked pair of programs on their primary list. So keep in mind that the couples ranked pairs do not include those supplemental rank order lists. So they are only matching those ranked pairs on the primary rank order list. And couples can do things like repeat individual program codes with a different paired rank of their partner. So there are some different permutations around couples. And there's information on our website how that works, as well as a couple of videos that we're actually in the process of redoing right now as well. But the current videos are also super helpful. But couples can be really complex. We encourage couples to rank early. They will often have really long and sometimes fairly complex lists. They can also include a no match code for one partner, so that if you get down to the bottom of the list and one partner prefers to be matched versus the other partner going unmatched, they can kind of swap back and forth between those no match codes to try and get at least one partner matched. So, but that is the matching algorithm. I encourage you, as you're advising students, to have a really good understanding of the algorithm yourself, so that you can talk through it successfully with your applicants. And so kind of on that same line, we know this process can be complex, right? So we've developed, a lot of support materials to help you and your students. This shows you some examples of what's available under that eye icon on your in the rank order, oh my goodness, talking is hard. In the R3 system, if you pull down that eye icon, you can see a lot of those support guides. We're in the process of modernizing and updating those, so bear with us as we do that. But there's also those videos as well as those individual support guides. And kind of here's what the new version looks like, but we're working through updating all of those now. Encourage you to explore them, share them with your students, especially helpful for new users or anyone needing a quick refresher. We also have a ton of other data resources to help you and your students. I've got a QR code here on the screen. And just kind of as an aside, and another bit of good news for those of you who may not have heard, that traditional charting outcomes report, the characteristics of applicants who match to their preferred specialty that we previously released every other year, will now be released every year. So we're moving to an annual cadence for that characteristics of applicants who match to preferred specialty charting outcomes report. So hopefully I'm hearing excited yays to that news, because we think that will be really helpful to folks. So there's that QR code to take you to the batch data section of our website. And then Joy also has some policy resources. I'll let her talk through those real quick.
Yes, this is the last thing that policy wanted to share with you today, that we do have resources out there for you for some commonly asked questions or where to locate the materials. We have a QR code here that links to the Match Code of Conduct for medical schools, as well as we have a QR code over there to the right side, which is something that we actually created for our NRMP conference, with policy tips and reminders, what medical schools need to know. And I'm hopeful that will answer a lot of questions for you around a lot of what we spoke about today. We also have monthly policy corner tips where we provide information as it pertains to the time that we're in, whether it be ranking or matching. And then we also have help and support. That being said, we are always available by email, and all of our information there can be found on the website under NRMP policies. We are working on adding an FAQ section for the medical schools that should be coming out sometime this year to kind of guide you a little better with frequently asked questions. And, I really wanted to touch today on a lot of the questions that we do receive in regards to verifications and those things. So I'm hopeful that we were able to answer a lot of your questions, but I want you to know we are always here. If you ever have a question about anything in regards to policy or how to navigate through something, please contact us, because we are here to help. Thanks, everyone.
And then just speaking of the website, huge range of resources on the website to help you stay organized. Obviously, the match calendars, the checklists, FAQs, and then you all, of course, have your own section, the medical school section, that kind of walks through a lot of what we've talked about today. So bookmark these pages, refer to them often. They're updated regularly, and they're really a great first stop when you have questions. And I promised a teaser here. We are going to be doing a joint Navigating Match Week and SOAP for medical schools webinar. That's going to be on Tuesday, February 24th at 1 o'clock. We'll be sending out registration for that in the next couple of days or early next week. So that registration information will be coming soon. That will be presented by me here at the NRMP, but we will have representatives from both ARIS and Residency CAS in to answer questions about how Match Week and SOAP will work with the application services. So please, we hope that you will join us. Save the date for that. We would love to see you there. It is 2 o'clock, and so we promised this would be an hour, so we don't have a ton of time for live questions, but hopefully we've answered a lot of your questions in the Q&A box. But keep in mind that we are here, as Joy said, to help you out. Thank you so much for joining us today in the webinar. If you need further assistance, obviously we can be reached at support@nrmp.org for general support questions, or policy@nrmp.org for policy questions. And of course, our phone number is there. We also put a lot of stuff out on social media, so we hope to see you on the interwebs. But as I said earlier, the slides I'm recording will be posted to our website probably by tomorrow at the latest. But please feel free to contact us if you need assistance. And most importantly, thank you so much for all the work that you do with students. And good luck to you and your students in the match.